Hello everyone, and today we are talking about your irresistible offer. This would be part of the sales architecture series that Mike has been discussing with you before, but today we'll be stopping and standing still on the irresistible offer as part of your sales architecture and going into a little bit more detail. So this part of our training is about how to package your products and services into an offer that makes a real difference to people's lives. So after today's training, you will know what it is that you actually offer. We'll understand a little bit better what three-dimensional value is and look at various ways that you can actually package your products and services so it's more creative and more attractive to other people. So let's get going. I would highly recommend that you perhaps get your journal ready or some notes so that you can make some notes here about your own product or service and see to what extent you can customize it. And even though I'll remind you of this again at the end of our trainings, you are more than welcome to get in touch with me after this, book a coaching session or send me a WhatsApp, whatever you prefer, with any questions that you may have. So what will we cover exactly today? Well, you'll be going on this journey with me. I will be looking at what you potentially can offer your clients, but more specifically how we can take what you already have and really package in a way that is very attractive to clients. So in section 1, we're going to look at from macro to mini content. This really is more about how you can take what you've currently developed and break it down into elements rather than going and reinventing the whole wheel. Then we're going to be looking at your blueprint or formula and why that's important to clients, especially when you're putting an irresistible offer together. We'll then move on to collaborations and look at some ways you can collaborate and why it is important that you keep an eye open for these type of partnerships and collaborations. We'll then be looking at some sampling methods and why it specifically is important in the way you market and put your offer out there these days. And then we'll be looking lastly in section 1 at how you can create your box. And here we're really looking at taking what you're offering and making it more tangible for people and ways in which you can do that. Moving on to section 2, we'll be looking at what three-dimensional value is as promised. We'll take a look at some bonuses you can offer people and guarantees and why a guarantee is so important these days as well. We'll be moving on then to exclusivity and what it really means. Some pricing. A lot of clients ask us about pricing and what they should price their services and products. I've then prepared some examples of great irresistible offers for you to look at and then discuss some mistakes you can avoid. So please come with me on this journey and hopefully at the end of these sliders you'll have a much better idea of how to put this irresistible offer together as part of your sales architecture. So let's look at macro to mini. This is really ways to leverage your current content to the absolute maximum. So I'm going to use a book here as an example because many of you have already written a book, always in the process of writing a book. So let's say you're at the start of creating a brand new product or a brand new service. It is very valuable to go and get a blank page and put down what traditionally was called a mind map and start map out really what is the essence of what you're going to offer people. So let's use a book for an example. Let's say you've written a book on, let's choose one of this. There's one called Sharks Love Pets. So fun experiments. There's another book. Let's maybe look at this one, cooking. It's easy. So let's say you've written a book on cooking and that book has 10 chapters in there. And, you know, some of the chapters in there talk about maybe gourmet cooking. Some of the chapters in there talk about desserts or for those who have a sweet tooth. The other chapters about soups, the others about starters. You get the idea. So just as you can put a cookbook together with 10 chapters and 10 different topics, you can also go and decide to put a service together with various areas. So, but let's say, for example, let's stick with a book. Let's say you've written a book with 10 chapters and that book is already out there or it's in its starting stages. That 10 chapters can, in essence, be leveraged to become 10 online courses. Or you can take those 10 chapters and put them into 10 PDF workbooks and put a program together around that. You might want to take your book and its 10 chapters and go and develop 10 webinars, which consists of 10 series that people can buy into, or it can drip the content via email to them over 10 weeks. You can take those 10 chapters and put 10 workshops together and plan your year ahead with these 10 workshops that relate to your 10 chapters. Or you can take it and go and develop 10 technologies. Maybe you have a desktop software program that you develop around those 10 chapters. Perhaps it's a mobile app that you develop around those 10 chapters, whatever the case may be. But this is just to show you how you can take one product or one idea that you've put together and really leverage on it and break it down into many, many other products that you can use. Now, maybe you haven't written a book. Maybe you've already developed a course that you can leverage this way. Maybe you've developed a really good formula and you can actually go and break it down further like this. Whatever it is that you've developed, go and have a critical look at it today and ask yourself, how can I leverage on what I've already developed and go and break it down into mini content that I can use into many areas rather than going and reinvent the wheel and go and develop everything all over. Next, I want to look at a blueprint formula. When you're going to put an irresistible offer together, you really want to offer people the opportunity to have a blueprint or a formula that they can apply and customize to their lives. Many people out there go and put a service or a product out there without a formula. So that means that the offer for people lack systemization, it lacked structure, and therefore they don't really, like I say here, see the method in your madness. So whenever you're going to go and put an irresistible offer together, you want to talk about your formula or your blueprint or your step-by-step guide or whatever it is that you have developed, which you have applied and tried and tested and it really worked for you. So I'm talking about the typical step 1, 2, and 3 process here. And for example, the step 1 of your program may be that step 1 of the program is it's going to be a 6-week program. It is going to include this and that for you, and the outcome that you can expect is exactly that. So almost like the picture here in the middle, I am trying to get you to go and create a formula that shows people the way, but not only show them the way, but show them exactly the step 1, 2, and 3 of getting there. And the reason why this is important is that our brains are not set up to see transformation without understanding the roadmap or the route or the journey that has to be taken to get there. So for example, if you offer people fitness programs and all you give them is a before and after photo, that will definitely flare up their brains and get them interested. But ultimately they may not commit because it looks too difficult for them. They look at that before, look at after, and they go, that's a long road and it's too difficult, it's probably not for me. And the reason why that happens is because we don't offer them the steps 1, 2, and 3 between the before and after photo, show them exactly the process of transformation. Step 2, for example, you tell them this will take you 4 weeks and the benefits that you will get at this point is A, B, and C, and this is the way we're going to do it, and this is what you can expect by then. Step 3, this will take between 8 to 12 weeks and you'll receive the following. So what we're talking about here really is expectation management. And when we put an offer out there for people, when we have a product or service to offer, many times we don't deal with those expectations by giving them this exact roadmap that is required to get there. So when you're going to put together an irresistible offer for potential clients, my next tip to you would be really to go and look if whatever you're offering to people has lots of loose ends, or whether that's actually properly systemized or put into a structure that gives people practical step 1, 2, and 3s. Next, we want to look at collaborations and how important it is to look at potential collaborations when you put an offer together. Many of you go to networking events, and we see this ourselves as we travel the world. People getting up in front of other people and telling them about their product and service. And many times that product or service only have one layer, meaning you've developed a service. Let's say, for example, it's a coaching service, but you don't actually consider other levels of value that you can add to that coaching service. And when we challenge people about that levels of value they can add, they always say, it's great, I would love to add this level of value, but I can't do it. It's going to take too long for me to develop. So they just keep on going, offering people this one service. But this one service does not necessarily solve people's problems. And I'm going to give you an example for that. Let's say, for example, you're a health and safety consultant. You offer a health and safety consulting service, but your offer would have been so much more valuable to a CEO if you actually were able to offer health and safety policies, that goes with your consulting service. And on top of that, you could have offered the CEO maybe a health and safety tracker, like a software program that helps them to assess where they are with their health and safety, give them a bit of a dashboard and show them where they have to improve on a day-to-day basis, and maybe even highlight the red flags in the business from a risk point of view. Now, you can't offer those services at the moment. You only offer consulting services, and the cost and the time involved for you to come up with a software program and a policy package like that will take ages. So to illustrate to you the importance of collaborations and how this can massively change the way in which you give people irresistible offers, I've put a type of a virtual team together here. So let's say Sue Anna Jenkins is a computer programmer, and she's also a web designer, but she runs her own business. She works in a silo, and she only have offers that pertain to these type of services. Then we have Laura Hang. She's from Cambodia. She's a GoPro guru. She basically takes GoPro videos of people and posts them basically on YouTube. And because of that, she's built up a following of 50,000 people. And she's not really sure how to monetize on that, but I mean, that's what she's been able to do so far. And that's a skill set, and she's been doing it very successfully. And the few offers that she's been putting out there to people relate basically to GoPro and shooting those videos, but she's not quite getting it right. Then we have George Agnes here. He's from Greece. He's a best-selling business author. He writes business books, and he's doing very well in those areas. Please, this is not real people. It's fictional characters that I've made up for you to just get the concept. We have Olga Olsen here. She is from Switzerland. She's an award-winning graphic designer. She's doing very well in that, and she's selling some of her graphic design packages to people, but again, that's all she sells. We have Derek Campbell here from the UK. He's an actor, and he's a highly recognized socialite. His social media platforms is really doing well. He have a lot of followers and fans and shares, but he's not really monetizing on anything he's doing other than his acting career. And then we have Gestalt Basar from India. He's a head of a very well-known international training institution in India, but also his income is based solely on that institution and whoever come and bring their children to that school. So here we have a team of people. They're not really aware of each other. They haven't made contact. And now we put them around the table in one room, and we can really now get creative with the type of irresistible offers that they can put together. So, for example, you can get Sue Anna Jenkins, who is a web designer, and she can potentially go to Laura Hang and say, listen, I am really good with designing web, and I can really develop the type of software for you that can drive traffic to your YouTube channel, but also help these people who's on your YouTube channel to subscribe to a membership site where they can see more of these videos. Or even better, why don't we two come up with an irresistible offer that helps people to not only visit your YouTube site and videos, but help them actually getting videos edited for their businesses, which is a product that can be very useful for people. So these two can really together create a much better irresistible offer necessarily than what they can do alone. Now, they may even go to the actor, Derek, and say, can you help us with your social media footprint that you have to drive more traffic here to Laura's YouTube channel so that we can drive these people to a membership site where they have to subscribe on a monthly basis, and the three of us share the profits and we all benefit from that. Then you can get someone like George, who is a really great business author. And you can say to him, well, George, you've already have these books and your books is already selling very well. Why don't the two of us talk here and take some of the chapters in your book and break them down into curriculum for children at our school, and therefore we can actually use that curriculum in our school and pay you some of that, whereas you use some of your followers and send them to our school to come and be part of our curriculum. So there's a potential deal there, and on and on. So I would urge you to perhaps, if you're at this point in the training, stop, take your journal and see what possible collaborations there may exist for you. Don't worry about the actual person or what they can do. Maybe go in and do it fictionally for now. Play with what types of people would be great in your environment now. Maybe you need a video editor. Maybe someone who runs a successful podcast can really do your business well. Perhaps you're looking for someone who's really social, who's always at these business networks and out there, and you can do with someone like that. And remember, doing an irresistible offer with someone does not mean you have to be a full-time business partner of that person. Go and test and trial it. Go and find a person and do one collaborative project with them and see how it works. And then try someone else until you hit the jackpot, until you maybe find someone where, you've done 3 irresistible offers now together and it really works well. This type of model is very popular at the moment online, where you see people doing summits together and webinars together and then do profit split agreements on those. But there's no reason why you can't take your printing company or your dog training company. Maybe you're an insurance broker, but you want to put a package together for people as opposed to just selling one type of insurance to them. There's definitely ways that you can do this, and make sure then that the offer you give to people have so much more layers of value in there because you are willing to collaborate with people. And don't be surprised if the people that turn out to be the best collaborations are some of the people you regard to be your competition at the moment. I've put down a definition here for you. Collaboration is the action of working with someone to produce something. So it's valuable for you to think, what can I produce with other people? What can I go and do that will produce something with other people that will add to the value of my potential buyer? Next, we look at sampling. Another thing you want to consider when you put an irresistible offer out there. We are in the era where people do not trust sales and marketing as much as they used to. And the reason is simple, technology has made people saturated. We are saturated. You can go and look at your inbox, your email inbox, to see how many people are out there to try and sell to you. The amount of information we have to take in on a daily basis, with everyone bombarding us with information and sales and marketing, is staggering. So we should not be expecting from our clients to be as trustworthy as they were before. So when you put your irresistible offer together, it's important to come up with sampling. And with sampling, I'm literally meaning exactly what you see here. If you're going to have a cup of tea, if you want people to order your tea that you've developed, then it would be wise to have samples of your tea out there so that people can taste the different teas. We see this in supermarkets sometimes. When we go and we want to buy something, you sometimes see people who have promotional samples out there. Sometimes when you walk into a beauty clinic and you want to buy a moisturizer for your face, they will have some samples out there. I know Dermalogica is quite good with that, to give you some samples to go and try. If you walk into a bookstore, you may want to open the book, feel the book, read a little bit through the book. And now even Kindle, if you want to download a book from there, they allow you to download a sampling. The reason why I'm telling you this is when you put an offer together for people, at some stage you're going to have to present that offer. And especially in the context of the sales architecture that Mike took you through, there's going to be some sort of presentation at some stage, whether you do it through an email sequence, whether you do it through a webinar, whether you do it by standing in front of people in a room and doing a sales presentation to them. When you're going to come to your irresistible offer, you're going to take people through whatever is part of your value or product or service. And it's very advisable that you have samples for people as well. Online samples as well as offline samples of your product and service, so that they can see that your service is actually of quality, so that they can try for themselves and see that they like what you have on offer. Now, to a large extent, this also touches on the question that people have for us many times: should I give some things away for free? Should I give some of my product away for free? Should I give some of my information and my content away for free? And the answer more and more is becoming an overwhelming yes. And the reason for that is that people want to trust. So I'm going to take you through a few examples of sampling. For example, we have this guy here. He's a graphic designer. He designs graphics for people. It would be very advisable for him, if he has an online website or a service, to give some samples of his work. People want to see what the work that he designs look like. You see a lot of this on Fiverr. A lot of people make use of Fiverr.com to get some of their graphics designed. And if you're going to go to a virtual assistant or an outsourcing agent or Fiverr, you literally want to see examples of the work. So if you provide some sort of digital service like that, it's important that there's some sort of slide or portfolio where people can either see or download and get a feel for your work. Perhaps you're a coach, perhaps you're a consultant who provides people with strategy consultancy, whatever. It's advisable to give people an online free consultation like this lady here, or maybe if you're a consultant, go to the site and give people a free diagnostic or assessment so that they can get a feel of who you are, what you sound like, a feeling whether they're going to get along with you, whether they like actually the intelligence of the information you provide. Those things are really important examples of sampling in that universe. Perhaps you provide online courses. It's really important these days in the world of e-learning that you provide samples of your courses as well. Udemy is a very good example of this. When you go and you want to buy a Udemy course, there's normally free previews of the course. There's many sites now that does e-learning as well that give you previews or samples, short samples of the course, so that the people also can get an idea of what they're going to buy and if they like your feel, the way you train people and all that stuff. Maybe you're someone who doesn't provide a service like that or something digital. If you have a physical product that you provide, maybe you're in manufacturing. That also means you can come up with samples. You maybe want to do a manufacturing quarterly report, or news flash report or industry report that people can use, so that they also can get a feeling of the quality and who you are. You can do coffee table books. You can do hard copy reports or even digital reports that people can download in order to introduce them to your product or your service. Perhaps you're someone who's designed a mobile app or a website for people to use. It would be useful then to give out samples like free trials or 30-day trials or something like that. Maybe you've designed a game and then people can also maybe use a chapter or area of your game so that they can see if they really like it. And these are all examples of samples that you may want to consider when you're going to put together an irresistible offer for a potential client. Right, on the next slide, we talk about you creating a box. Now, this is all about making sure that whatever you're going to list in your irresistible offer has something tangible attached to this. And this is a very psychological thing for people. And I have this just for you picture here for a reason, because I want to use the example of you going to your actual mailing box, your postal box, and receiving a surprise package in there. What a wonderful feeling. What a wonderful feeling to go to your post box and there's not only accounts in there or bills or bank statements, but an actual package marked just for you. And it's something that you can touch and it's something that you can open and there's a gift in for you. Now that same feeling of wanting to feel special and that same feeling of tangibility and adding or attaching value to something you can touch is very strong still today. So whenever you're going to put an offer together for people, whether you're standing in front of a room of people and you're giving a sales presentation, or whether you're doing a sales presentation online, or whether you're building a website, or whatever it is that you're offering to people, make sure that there is something that they can touch that corresponds with your offer. So I'm going to give you a few examples here. But before do that, I'm going to put here, I just want to take you through this. People prefer things that they can see, touch, feel, smell, and physically experience. And this is really, really important when you put this offer together, because it's important that you have some things that is in the cloud, e-learning courses is an example of that. Websites people can visit, coaching services, consulting services online. All those things are things that people offer at the moment, but people can't necessarily touch or feel or experience it. So you want something that's tangible that corresponds with that as well. So for example, let's say you've written a book, and that book is online on Kindle. It would be advisable that you consider getting those into hard copy as well. Nothing beats you standing at a summit or event with hard copies of your book in your hand. Maybe you've designed an online course. It would be, in a case like that, advisable to have printable manuals or workbooks that goes with that as part of your program and that gets sold as part of the Irresistible offer, which is printable. And people can touch this. Let's say you're a coach and you've designed the happy life formula for people. How do you make a formula tangible? Well, go and print that formula maybe life size on the banner, so that when you talk about this formula in a boardroom or at an event, whatever, people can actually see that on a banner or on a cardboard, whatever it is you prefer. Maybe you're an estate agent and you have the ideal house for people. Make sure you don't only talk about the ideal house and take them to the ideal house, but you maybe have a portfolio with photos of the ideal house as something that they can, go through and see the photos with people and furniture and interaction in there to make it more real for people. Perhaps you're someone who gives yoga classes. It's difficult when you sit in a networking meeting and you talk about yoga classes and there's nothing tangible for people. Maybe have yoga mats that's branded with your business, colorful yoga mats or yoga towels, branded towels that you take with you to make it more real for people, something they can touch. Maybe you're someone who manages a logistics company, tracking software in a software box that you take with you will make that more tangible and real for people, especially if you have the software loaded on an iPad. And when you go out there and talk to people about your logistics company, you actually have software associated with that. Maybe it's the form of in the app, and you show them how their packages will be tracked with this software, and then suddenly this logistics company becomes so much more real for them. Another one is you're maybe an image consultant, you're providing a service to people and having that service maybe with photos and a coffee table book with hair care products that's associated as part of your Irresistible offer, make it so much more tangible for people. Perhaps you're a bookkeeper with a mobile app, and the mobile app show them how they can budget per month or save on expenses. Again, it makes bookkeeping so much more fun and tangible and real for people. Or you're maybe an internet marketer. Go and do a data bundle deal with people. So when you talk to people about internet marketing, there's an actual data bundle deal. There's a SIM card that you carry with you that you show people they will receive, that will give them 24-hour internet or something like that. Or maybe you're an insurance broker. Do not underestimate the age-old lever folder with a pen, which is really, we get massive results with our clients just by doing something like that. Perhaps you're an auctioneer. You always sit around and talk to people about your auction services, but it's not real for them. So maybe put a physical case study guide together, something people can page through and look at your different case studies as an auctioneer, and that's where you make it tangible and real for them. Or perhaps you're a dog trainer and think about something like a pet recipe book. So rather than just offering them your dog training services, you have added value of this pet recipe book, and this is actually a hard copy that they can touch and feel, and it makes your services more real and tangible for them. So when you put together your irresistible offer for clients, think about your service, but think about these tangible things that you can add on top of your service to provide people with so much more value and make it so much more interesting and creative for them. Right, we're now in section 2, and I want to now talk to you about 3-dimensional value, because whenever you're going to come up with something that's part of your irresistible offer, you want to have a little bit of a check and balance in place, a quality checklist that makes sure that whatever you're offering to people subscribe to these 3 criteria. So the first criteria here is that whenever you're going to put a service or a product together for people, make sure that it has monetary value for people. And with monetary value, I mean whatever you're putting out there, make sure that it's something that's either going to prove to people that it's going to make them money or it's going to save them money. They need to see it. This is the boring practical part. But if you're going to do a sales presentation to people and you get to the point of the actual offer, the benefits and features and why they should buy this from you, they want to see that there is some element of money in there. How is this going to save the money, or how is it going to make the money? You may be a bookkeeper, for example, and you want to show them, listen, if you're going to be part of my service or if you're going to buy into my mobile app, this is how it's going to make you money, it's going to make you more productive, you're going to have more sales, your revenue is going to increase, whatever, or it's going to save you money, absenteeism is going to decrease, whatever, or we can track your expenses. Maybe you're someone who gives a course, show them how the course is going to make the money or save the money. Show them, if you're a consultant, how you're going to make the money or save the money. Even if you sell someone a house, make sure in this part of your 3D value that you say to them, listen, the house is actually going to make you money in the future because it's a great investment, or it's going to save you money because this one is better than the other one, and it's already an established garden or whatever it is you put in there. But it has to make money sense. Whatever you put in your offer has to make money sense to people. Number 2, make sure what you put in there has social value for people. In essence, all of us want to be accepted. We want to have a sense of belonging. We like to make sure that we buy into social value. It has to give us some sense of approval, and it's the same for other people. There has to be a sense of community in that. So I always talk about Harley Davidson because they've done this so well. A lot of people buy Harley Davidson. Of course, the motorbike is a fantastic value for people, but they buy into the community of Harley Davidson. Once you've bought a Harley Davidson, you're part of the club, you can go on rallies, there's a certain way of dressing and freedom, and they can attend the parties and the breakfast runs and the toy runs and all those things. So you buy so much more than just a Harley. So when you put the value out there for people, take it a dimension deeper. And this is why I'm talking about dimensions here. Many of us talk about the money dimension of our offer, but we don't tell people what value they will get in terms of community. Is there a membership site attached to what they're buying into? Is there maybe a mastermind group that they will be part of? Is there maybe a destination event that they can attend where they can meet other people and talk to like-minded people? Is there maybe a research group that they will be forming part of? These are important considerations when you put your value-added offer together. Number 3, the third dimension then here would be to make sure that whatever is on offer in your irresistible offer, give people a technological value. And with technological value, I'm not necessarily talking about technology, hardware and software, even though it may be that. I'm really talking about value in your offer that's going to make life easier for people. So whatever you put in there should simplify a person's life. So rather than just talking about the money you're going to make them and save them and the social component of buying into what you have to offer, you're always going to show them, like this maze here. Previously, before you saw this product or service of mine, your life has been like a maze, but I'm going to show you the formula or the blueprint or the step 1, 2, and 3 in order to get you here, in order to make life simpler and easier for you. And this is so important if you can learn to talk in this language when you give value to people, when you sell a product and service to people, because it makes sense. They can see how the value you're going to provide them includes transformation. Right. When we talk about an irresistible offer for people, bonuses are really valuable. And I know the word bonus may be overused for some of you, and if it doesn't sit well with you, you're more than welcome in your irresistible offer to build in added value or value added services. The method here is basically to say to people, listen, I'm going to offer you this today in terms of my service, but I'm also going to offer you this and this. And then always throw in bonuses or surprises or added value services in there, especially if you're providing professional services to people. I want to give you examples, and you can literally go into these examples and go and tick the ones here that you find will be most useful for your business. But after you've stacked an offer for a person, and I'll give you examples of these stacked offers, it's always advisable that you put bonuses in, like full access to something. Up until now, people thought in your presentation they will be getting limited access or 6-week access or only 12 weeks access, to give them full access to a membership site or to a service, so that they understand that you really want to give them the full value of what you've developed or created here. Unlimited access is another one. Do it for you services, rather than we're offering A, B, and C, and, as a bonus, actually we'll do everything for you. You don't have to do it. Complete ranges or series, exclusive access to something, relevant events, personal touches, VIP services. You may want to, as a bonus, include people in your really personal inner circle. Mastermind events at people's houses is very popular these days, or a special event, webinar series. These are all things, Neil's irresistible offer, that can be included as bonuses. Here's some more of the tangible things. You maybe want to include an actual box, a box that's packaged with some really nice gifts in there, maybe a coffee table book, a personal journal that you send to them via post afterwards, some luxury gifts or corporate gifts, as we know more traditionally, customized products that's specifically customized for them. Let's say you're an image consultant, there's a jacket that they get specifically because they're using your service, identity items, any shortcut folders, summary guidelines, an iPad maybe that has your product and service or your technology loaded on there already, external hard drives, gift certificates that maybe give them a free coaching call or a free ticket to somewhere, comics, a personally drawn comic of the person is very popular, portraits of clients, a performance tracker, motivational decks or cards, starter kits. These are lots of creative ideas that you can actually use to include in your irresistible offer. That really helps people to just see that you're willing to give them so much more than just a one-dimensional service. In professional services, you can use the word added value as opposed to bonus if the word bonus doesn't sit well with you, as I said previously. Money back guarantees is imperative these days as well because it overcomes distrust. A lot of people do not feel comfortable to give full money back guarantees. We love doing that because ultimately we want to make sure that our clients are happy. You can, for example, tell people, listen, if you used my services by day one and you're not happy, I'll give you a full money back guarantee. And to be honest, it may be scary for you listening to this, And you may get some people asking for money back guarantees, and I promise you, they are probably not right for you. If you are the type of person who came onto this journey with us because you're sick and tired of demanding clients, or people that doesn't really resonate with you as well, or don't see the value of what you provide, it is imperative that you stop this relationship in the early stages and do give their money back. In our personal experience, it's happened very, very rarely that people actually ask for a full money back guarantee or any money back guarantees. So if you are confident about the product and service or the value you provide, I would highly recommend that in your irresistible offer and sales presentation already, you manage expectations correctly by making this promise and delivering on this promise if people want their money back. So bonuses and full money back guarantees is really important as part of your irresistible offer. Exclusivity. It's important that you realize that exclusivity is about the fact that ultimately you're not selling people a product and service. It doesn't matter whether there's other competitors out there that sell similar products and services to you. There's no one on this planet that has the experience and exposure that you have. You are the prize. You are selling you, and people are ultimately buying into you. That's why I have this picture here of this beautiful fingerprint, because there's no one who has the collective or sum of experience or exposure than you have. And that sum of experience and exposure is expressing in your product and service, especially if you provide the type of knowledge-based service where you give people coaching or counseling or consulting or online training or that type of thing, because that service that you've packaged into a product have you and your brand written all over it. So that includes your quality, your track record, the authenticity that you display, your moral code, your belief system, your sense of humor, your eye for detail, your circle of friends, your reputation. That is what people buy into. It's important then that you don't use exclusivity to be non-authentic. It's important that you're real. Don't use exclusivity for things like there's only 10 seats left if you actually have 20 left. Don't tell people you're only going to do something once if you know you're going to do it over and over again. Don't tell people they only have 2 days to register if you know for real they actually have more time to register for this. Exclusivity for us is about being you, about getting the message across that there's only one you, and that your heart and soul and willingness to help people will be going into the product and service that they will be buying into. So here's a question for you. What is the sum total of your experience and exposure that makes your product or service totally unique? Go and list maybe 3 of those things. Pause this video and list those things that you have acquired over the years with your experience and exposure that makes your product and service unlike any other product and service that any of your competitors may have. Go and list those down and make sure that you mention those things then when you go and you talk to people about your irresistible offer. Let's talk about pricing. When it comes to the pricing of your products and services, rule number 1 for us is that you are not a commodity. So never sell your professional services per hour. If you're a consultant especially, or coach listening to this, and you're selling your services per hour, people will take that amount per hour and reduce your value to that. That's why we highly recommend that you stack your offers and that you stack your various services in there so that people can see the breakdown of what you're worth and then attach a lump sum to that. So, a little bit more on that later. Rule number 2, do not discount your services, rather add value. So if people are constantly asking you for a discount, it means they're not seeing the value of your service. So rather go and add more value to your offer rather than discount what you already have. Rule number 3, and this is what I really want to talk to you about. Stack your offer. Never offer only one thing. If you only have one thing on offer at the moment, go and break that down into 5 things, and then communicate your irresistible offer into those 5 things that you offer at the moment. I'll give you some examples on that later. So let's say, for example, you only offer a consulting service. Go and break down your consulting service in the 5 different topics, and then stack that, and then add one big amount to that. So people don't make use of your services per hour. People make use of your services in a stacked offer with one amount over 6 months, for example. Or you give them unlimited consulting services for a year for one amount. Or you say to them, I'm selling to you 12 on-site consulting services and 12 off-site, and again, there's one amount. Or you have a training series, and that training series goes for one amount, but it also includes consulting services, and it also includes, let's say, a step-by-step guide that you have put together for people in PDF format that they can access online and download. So you stack your offer and you add one amount to that, no amounts per hour. Rule number 4, make price comparisons. When you talk to people about your offer, do compare it with other things that they can buy for a similar amount. Do not necessarily go and look for those amounts in your competitor market. Surely you need to do your market research, and I'm going to talk about that actually later during the slides. Do your market research, go and see what your competitors price, but do not necessarily compare the value of what you offer, the amount that you're going to pay to your competitors. Compare it to what you see they spend their money on. So for example, if you sit with a crowd of people who love traveling, compare your consulting service perhaps to one of their traveling packages. So say to them, for one of the packages that you will pay for traveling, you actually get this and this and this and this, and this is how it's going to transform your life, and therefore you'll be able to travel more. So make those comparisons, because that way you put your price that you're asking in perspective for people. You're showing them that the amount they're going to spend is actually not that much, and the amount that they will be spending, they're already spending on something else. Right, give people a choice. Give people a choice. Do not only say to them, listen, here's one stacked offer. You may want to say to them, listen, here is a stacked offer and a payment option, or here's a stacked offer with a price. There's a price maybe, that is, slightly lower, and then there's the much more expensive do it all for you price. This is really something where it's important for me and you to get onto a coaching call, and that we look at your offer very specifically and look at your pricing strategy there and decide, are you going to do 3 offers or are you going to do 2 offers? But you want people to make a choice. And the reason for that is that many times when you get to the closing of your offer, you want a person to feel, they have a choice. And that's actually an easy way for a person also to sell who find it very difficult to sell. Is not to say, listen, can we move ahead now with a decision, but to say, listen, do you want to go with option A or B? That makes it easier for you to get the sale to an actually close by just saying, do you want option A, B, or C, or do you want option A or B? So you're already sort of assuming that they're going to go with you and make a choice. Offer an all-inclusive price. I've mentioned that before. You don't want to offer, all these small different prices. You want to have a stacked offer that gives people the retail value, and then you want to add that up to an all-inclusive lump sum price at the end of the day that people will pay. It's one amount, and it includes everything. And then do offer payment plans. If a person's only objection is that, listen, I won't be able to afford it in a lump sum, do give people payment plans. Do reward them if they pay everything at once. And if they don't pay everything at once, let's say they want to pay it off in 3 months, you can maybe charge them a slight higher price for paying it off in 3 months, which again award those people who want to pay one amount at the start of the process. Right, so I have 3 examples here for you of irresistible offers. Google define an irresistible offer. The regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So really make sure that when you put an offer together for people, that the offer is put together with the idea to really give value to people from different angles. I always see this as a face, and use your own face as an example. If you only offer a person one thing, let's say in this case a health and safety formula that's going to help their business, you really only give them one side of the face. So you want to give them the front side of the face, you want to give them a side shot of the face, you want to give a back shot of the face, you want to give another side shot of the head. So rotate, look at the various angles of your own face and head, and this is the same approach you want to use when you show people value. So you may take one thing and break it down and show them the different angles of that one thing, but that is mainly why we stack offers, is to show people different faces of the same thing, to show them how they will receive value from different angles in different areas. So my first example for you here is a health and safety consultancy example. I've put this little piggy here to help you do a little bit of a check, that whenever you have something here in your irresistible offer, that you check if it does give people a monetary value. Remember, we said previously it has to make money sense to them. Number 2, it has to make social sense to them. And then number 3, it has to make their life easier. And in this case, I just put a timer there, save them time. Saving people time always makes their life easier. So, and then you just use these check marks or these crosses to say, okay, this part of my offer will actually give people monetary value. It will give them social value, and it will give them time value, and this one will give them maybe monetary value, but not necessarily social value and not necessarily time value. So you can do it like this for yourself. The idea is that you actually use these as checks and balances so that you make sure that your irresistible offer has fat in it. And with fat, it means it's absolutely and really packed with value, because the more you pack it with value, the more it becomes irresistible, the more you have your personal stamp on here, and the more other people cannot really compete with what you have on offer. So here's a great example for a health and safety consultant. Your irresistible offer may consist of a health and safety formula. Remember, we said a formula is important to make people feel safe, but also for them to see the method in your madness, your step 1, 2, and 3. And a tried and tested formula that works for you and clients. In this case, I've included a full day on-site diagnostic for clients as well, which means corporates will actually get this consultant for a full day on their site to do a proper diagnostic on where's the gaps, where are you actually not doing well in health and safety, where's your risks, where can you get in trouble, where is it actually going to cost you money, and that type of thing, where may you get penalties, where are you non-compliant, that type of thing. Then also in this irresistible offer, the corporate can become part of a mastermind membership where they can actually really access great information about health and safety, but also meet other people, other corporates, have like-minded CEOs around the table, talk about health and safety in the industry and what can be done about it. They will also get a daily health and safety news flash to make sure that they're up to date with what's going on with health and safety in the industry, and that they can talk with other people about what's going on and look good, you don't always have time to research health and safety as a CEO, so these new flashes will be coming to you, maybe via email or maybe via text to tell you what's going on in the industry. You'll also get a checklist toolbox that makes it easy for this buyer to actually take those checklists and take it to your health and safety officer and staff, whatever, and make the implementation of health and safety really, really easy. They'll also get unlimited online consulting, health and safety consulting for a year, which is fantastic, because that would mean that this consultant wouldn't have to be on site all the time, because it's an online consulting program, this one. And then the value add or bonus, number 1 would be tracker software. This is fantastic health and safety software. In this irresistible offer, the person probably collaborated with someone and is giving them an affiliate fee in order to use the tracker software. And then also built in here is an annual health and safety summit that the person can attend with a full money back guarantee. I would say this is a fantastic and absolute irresistible offer that a health and safety consultant can offer to a corporate. Number 2 example here, I've put together here irresistible offer. This is very much applicable to anyone also who provide a service online or offline, like a coach or maybe even a speaker or someone who's into training and development or that type of thing, or a person who perhaps is in sell houses, whatever. You can really apply it very easily to your life. You may be an insurance agent, whatever. So let's see. This is a person who has an irresistible offer for someone who wants to become more fit and healthy and that type of thing. So they have a flagship program called Get Fit Forever, and this program will be part of this offer. They may put this program in a really nice box, so you get a few goodies in the box, whatever, and it's nicely branded with fit people and that type of thing. You also get home gym equipment starter kit. This is really a nice tangible thing to put in there. You get these things that people use to make their arms a little bit better, and they maybe get a mat, that's part of the kit, and maybe some dumbbells and stuff like that they can use. It's all part in a little bit of a starter kit that they actually get posted. Stay Slim recipe cookbook series, great. It's hard copy cookbooks I would recommend in this case, because they can put it in their kitchen, and it comes in a really nice holder. A weekly body IQ mastermind. This may be online or offline. A group of people who support each other and come together and talk about their progress. Exclusive gym membership for a year. Maybe this can be a collaboration deal with a gym that forms part of this offer. 6-week health series CD pack. Maybe the person who's done this offer has realized that a lot of the people who buy these type of programs still want the CDs. They still have, the type of equipment where they want to be able to put a CD in, because they want to put it on their big screen TV and do some exercises and stuff. And then the bonus or value add one is Count My Step mobile app, which is really something that will be useful for people. And number 2, a personal training for 12 sessions. So for 12 times I will come out to you or the coach, and I will personally track your progress and see your body posture and see how it's going with your training, whatever. And then a full money back guarantee. So a great offer here for a person who wants to lose weight and get fit, whatever, with a lot of dimensions in there, a lot of value and great perspective. And you know what, if you can't put these things, if you're in this industry and you can't put everything together, look at this from the point of view who you can collaborate with, and also whether your value provides monetary, social, and time-saving value to people. My last example here, and this is, these examples is quite general. It's meant to help a lot of you to get your head around this. But again, make sure to check in with me on a coaching session, or send me a WhatsApp if you have specific questions around your business or product or service. This is for someone who would want to go on a honeymoon. So it's a honeymoon, it's a travel package specifically for honeymooners. So there's a normal honeymoon travel package. Now, many people in the travel industry would just sell that, make it all inclusive, but there's no real value added services that differentiate from the market out there, the competitors. So this is a honeymoon travel package, but then the added value is a special surprise consultation. So this would be if you buy it, if you're the guy, for example, and you buy it, or you're the partner, you will be able to check in with this travel agent, and because this person offers so much more than just a travel agency service. They also offer the opportunity to give the person who phones, the other half, if you may, ideas, on how they're going to surprise the new bride or groom or whatever, with little things that will be on the other side, that will be at the destination, and they help them actually with those ideas and putting it together. On arrival, romance bath set, perhaps it will be in the room, a daily flower to room service. Now you have to understand that a lot of people will pay really high ticket prices to have this experience, because there's not a one-stop service like this. There's not people who put all these services together and collaborate. 4 fine dining vouchers for 2 in the destination, unlimited access to selected spas, with a bonus of a champagne in air balloon and a bonus to a framed vows on arrival, all things that you can collaborate with other people, or if you don't want profit to seep out of your business, great ideas for you actually to very easily, make arrangements or put these things together and offer it to people. And then in this case, perhaps a provincial guarantee. Those in the travel industry would agree with me. It's not always possible, to have a full money back guarantee. So you may have a provincial guarantee. Now, I want to stress that these ticks and crosses does not relate necessarily to these. It's just here to show you how I do this and how you can do it for your irresistible offer as well. Some of them may have ticks, some of them may have crosses, but ideally, if you can get each one of these to add monetary, social, and time-saving value to people, you really have an irresistible offer together there. So here's the honeymoon example, irresistible offer, which brings me then to the final section, which is mistakes to avoid when you put an irresistible offer together. Now, remember, this whole section on irresistible offer, ultimately in your sales architecture slides, will probably only form 1 to maybe 5 or 6 slides of your entire sales architecture presentation. I just really wanted to go into detail with this with you so that you make sure that your offer really is competitive. So mistakes to avoid: too much sales, too little value. Don't put an irresistible offer together that has the whole, but wait, there is more, and oh, today you'll also get this, and just because you are you, steer away from those things. We're in a time where you are in the position to really put something together of value for people, and you can be proud of that, and you can stack that, and you don't have to be that salesy. And we find it really puts people off. Be real with them, be authentic with them, and tell them that you're really proud of this offer and that you think it's a great deal, and that you believe in it, because you probably do. If your heart and sweat and tears has gone into it, and if you have lots of clients that gets results, and even if you're in the beginning, getting great feedback from people, if people see your offer and they go, wow, that's a fantastic offer, it probably is a really good offer. So steer away from the whole sales thing and move more towards the value that you provide to people. Mistake number 2 is to not have a personal touch. Make sure that the value you build in for people has you in there. I know there's a lot of people that approach us and want freedom and lifestyle, and they're trying to build products and services that free them from people. There's online courses and there's lots of things, but try to look at your irresistible offer and see where you are still willing to give people you. If you don't want to give too many personal consultations, at least give them a few. If you're selling a product, ask yourself, to what extent are you willing to check in with people then personally from time to time and ask them about the product, even if you use social media for that. What are you doing to make it personal? Are you sending people something by post afterwards, thanking them? Are you doing a personal note? Are you maybe doing WhatsApp voice note follow-ups? There's very creative ways that you can keep it personal. We're in such a digital era, and people really appreciate the human touch there. Mistake number 3 is to not make your irresistible offer outcome-based. Do not put something down there in your irresistible offer without telling people what the transformation or the outcome is going to be for them. That's why I have these little pie charts and graphs. It's important that people know that, if they stick with your program, they're going to lose at least 10 kilograms. Or if they stick with your program, their profit is going to increase with X amount, or their revenue is going to increase, or, whatever the outcome is going to be. If you use my skincare product, your wrinkles will reduce and you'll look much more better. Or if you buy this house, this is going to be the outcome or return on investment for you. Make sure you tell people what they can expect, what's the outcome, so that they can see the result in the transformation. Mistake number 4 is to do poor market research. If you put an irresistible offer together without knowing what your competitors is doing, you really are uninformed, and you're opening yourself up to a lot of scrutiny from potential buyers, because consumers and buyers, and it's very well informed these days. People don't necessarily buy a coaching program without making comparisons. They don't necessarily buy a skincare product or a car or a house or hire a consultant, or buy a mobile app, or use your insurance services without knowing what the other options are. So make sure that you know what the other options are. Make sure that your irresistible offer is more irresistible and packed with more value than your competitors. So take your journal and go and do a Google research and buy industry reports if you have to, and go and find out what people may be spending their money on if they're not going to spend it on you, whether that's competitive services or non-competitive services. Mistake number 5 is to really package your stuff in a boring way. You have to stand out. You don't want it just to look like this boring box here. You actually want to have color, and you want to have proper design and branding, and make your stuff look good. If you sell a coaching service, for example, and you're only available online with a membership site, get creative, and send people something beautifully branded to their postal box as part of your coaching service. And, give them nice workbooks that's colorful and professional and lovely to use and easy to navigate and all that, so that your whole brand and your packaging is beautiful. It definitely helps to stand out. You will be blown away if you go and look at your competitors' products and services to see that a lot of the things are not necessarily beautiful designed and branded. So that's a huge competitive advantage for you to put these irresistible offers together with a stunning design and brand and feel, and make it look really good. And then the last mistake is to not be solution-based. Ultimately, when you put an irresistible offer together, people do not only want results, they want ease. They want a solution for their life, a solution for their business, something that actually helps them to solve the big problem that they're having, and something that really helped them to solve the pain they're experiencing with whatever they are experiencing at the moment. So this also takes research. This takes testing and trialing and asking people if the value that you're providing is worth it, asking if this irresistible offer will solve your problem. You can even use it in your presentation and say, okay, this is my irresistible offer. This is what I'm offering you. Do you believe this will solve your problem? And here's case studies of how this has solved other people's problems. So make sure that whatever you offer is solution-based, and go through your irresistible offer before you talk to people about it, and ask yourself, if this was your problem, would it solve your problem completely? And with the keyword completely. And that brings me to the end of this irresistible offer presentation. I hope you found it useful. You're more than welcome to use our online scheduler that would be in this email to schedule a coaching call with me, or alternatively, just find me on Skype. My Skype ID is landy.jack. My number is also there, +27 836786450. You're welcome to add me to WhatsApp. Many of our clients love WhatsApp coaching, where we WhatsApp each other back and forth, or we just do voice notes. Or you can always find me on Facebook under Landy Jack Says Hi, and send me a Facebook message, and we can correspond like that as well. I'll be more than happy to ask your questions. I highly recommend a coaching call so that we can look at your irresistible offer specifically and customize it for you.